Another thing that kind of sparked our conversation, I think you and I, we spoke about all the civil unrest going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember you was telling me, like, I'm like, maybe they need to work on with gun control. And then you're like, no. We should still carry that. And then you explained to me about the situation that happened to you. I'm not going to put it out there. But like how, with your situation, how you'd have come back to New York so many times.
I don't care.
Yeah. So it was like, it was kind of mind-boggling to me. And I have a lot of friends who are cops, and I have a lot of friends who they're like, you should get your gun license. Go get it. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get one. I told Shorty and I we're gonna go for a gun license.
This is the scariest thing in the world. There's a couple of facts, and you can fact check these if you want. The reason one of the reasons the NRA was actually made is because the Black Panthers showed up on a political person's home armed to the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So the NRA was created to make sure that we couldn't do that shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the laws that are created were created to keep arms out of Black people's hands, because in the Constitution we have the right to bear arms. They put laws in that behind that to make sure that we couldn't get it, and then they associated guns with criminals, cops, law enforcement. If you have one, you are doing something incorrect. You should not have it. White people are the people that can have guns. Notice you used to see it. White people were going hunting. Everybody was doing that. So over the years, it became, subconscious that we should not have them. So basically, you are disarming us through years of suppression of whatever the case may be, which is the dumbest thing on the fucking planet. We're all human, and that is it. One thing that scares me, and my gun instructor told me, he said, have a gun. Because by the time you dial 911, he can kill everybody in your house.
Who? I put it in the fridge. Yeah, you're not lying.
Think about it. And I'm not even talking a black or white thing. Lady was sitting in the room with her nephew playing video games. The cop looked in there, shined a light in her window. She looked like, what the fuck is going on? He shot and killed her.
Yeah.
Things of that nature happen. And now if a black person has a gun and they see the cop, first thing we do is get nervous. When I first moved out here, I used to live in the hood on the east side, straight like that. Charleston and Ellis, look it up. Crazy joint, a whole bunch of Mexicans, and it's crazy. So I would take my bus over there, whatever the case. And I would get off the bus, and the first thing I would do, lock and load and put it on my hip. Cop pulled up next to me. Hey, what's that on your hip? A gun. What do you need a gun for? Yo, you have a nice day. Walked right away from him, jumped over a fence and went into my apartment. I didn't open the door, jumped over the fence, walked in my apartment. They want to make you feel uncomfortable to have one, but it is your life duty. It is your duty to protect the people that you love, people that love you, and yourself. And one of the things you can do is to purchase a firearm and learn all of the laws, bylaws, or whatever the case, and learn how to use it. Don't be out here and kill, shot, and all this other shit. Learn everything you had to do. And the situation you was talking about, I was living out here, didn't know of course, you play video games, you look at the stuff on TV or whatever the case, you have a fascination for it. All your movies, basically all your favorite movies have it. It could be a rom-com, there's a gun somewhere in there. It is what it is. My brother told me about a certain gun company that he wanted to get. He couldn't get it in Jersey, but I can get it out here. So I went and got it. I loved it. Beautiful gun. Janik is a gun company. Canik, it's a Turkish company. Beautiful. It's beautiful. I loved it. And I was like, yo, I wish you can come out here and shoot it or whatever the case may be. But my brother has 3 girls. He has 3 girls and he has a whole family or whatever. So it's easier for me, being a single man than I am, or me just being one person, to travel and do all the traveling or whatever the case may be. I spent 3 months, 3 months calling police departments, airlines, NRA, everything you can think about. And I have a printout. I had a printout. It's about that thick. It looked like a little phone book of a phone book. What I had to bring, a paperwork of everything I had to follow. You have to have TSA locks. You have to go to a store and literally buy TSA locks, not master locks. TSA locks. Nobody else can have a key. You got to have the one and only key. If someone else has a key for it, you can get arrested. You can't have ammo in the same bag. Can't have your magazines in the same bag. You got to have your magazines pinned, period, to the laws of whatever state that you're going to. New Jersey allows you to hold 15 rounds in a magazine. My magazines held 20. I had to send out for parts to jam my magazine at 15 rounds. It won't go past 15 rounds. I had to have that taken care of, taken to a gun store to make sure that it only holds 15 rounds. You can't force 16. It is what it is. All of this stuff, you got to have your lockbox. You got to have your gun lock inside of a lockbox. Then lock your luggage. All of this stuff I've had. You have to be, instead of going to the airport an hour and a half ahead of time, 3 hours. The reason you got to go like 3 hours, you have to go there, declare that you have a weapon in your gun, in your bag. Unlock everything, show them that you have the one key, you unlock everything. They look at it, they write down the serial number, they take a picture of it. You have to lock everything back up in front of police officers and officials. You have to lock it back up. They take your bag. And you have to sit at the front gate until that bag goes through whatever it has to go through, because it doesn't go the same way that regular luggage goes through. It goes
probably X-ray and whatever.
And they lock it up wherever it is, and then you have to go off and they tell you exactly where you need to walk. You have to have an itinerary of everywhere you plan on going once you get there. So there was an itinerary of me coming to hang out with you, itinerary of me the DJ, being at a barbecue, going to the gun range, possibly going to New York. Anywhere you plan on going, you had to have all this stuff. And just think about it, all of this for 3 months. Flying to New York, perfectly fine. Not an issue, nothing. If you do anything outside of your itinerary, you have to itemize it. You have to let them know, I did not do this, I did not do this, I did not do this.
Oh, I did that.
You have to do everything. Everything that you plan on doing with your pistol or your rifle or whatever the case, you have to itemize everything, which I did. I go back to Queens, get on a plane. They said, do exactly what you do out here in Vegas. Do that shit in New York. Fine. I have all the paperwork. They was like, you shouldn't have a problem with this at all. Cool. I get back to the airport. I'm like, yeah, excuse me. There's a weapon in my bag. If I'm doing something illegal, why the fuck would I tell somebody there's a gun in my bag?
I'm seeing where this is going. I feel where this is going already.
So she was like, oh, I was like, yeah, you got to send airport police up here. It was like, we don't use airport police. We use New York Metro. I was like, all right, that's cool. Fine. I'm standing there. This bitch ass nigga named Officer Giuliani. Yes, I said it. That's his corny ass, bitch ass name, Officer Giuliani. Walks up to me. He was like, yeah, they said you have a gun in your bag. I said, yeah, I have to declare my gun because I'm going back to Las Vegas. He was like, can we see it? I was like, yeah, it's in the bag that's locked. He's like, can you unlock it? Sure. This is what they tell you to do. So I unlocked my armed luggage, reached in the bottom of it, pulled it out, unlocked the box, opened that, unlocked the gun. He was like, oh, okay. You know you're not supposed to have a gun. I said, I have the paperwork. First thing I did was pull out that big ass book. He looked at it. First thing, the first page is to show you where your registration is. The second page is your itinerary. And then after that, all of the laws that you abide by is underneath that. So he looked at it. He was like, this is not registered in New York. I said, I know. I live in Las Vegas. Why would my gun be registered in New York? It's registered in Vegas. He was like, well, since it's not registered in New York, you got to go to jail. I said, no, I don't. I have all the paperwork to say I can travel with this. He was like, no, I'm not trying to hear you. You're going to jail. So it was a personal thing for him that a black man had a gun in the airport in New York. That was an easy felony for him. That was an easy ticket that he's going to get a star on his fucking shirt. Yeah. And he found a black man, white man, whatever. He found a man that was trying to
with a gun. Yeah, it would have been a big story for him. Trying to get breaking news.
Took me straight to jail, bro. When I got there, I'm sitting there. I was like, yo, I can't believe I went through all of this shit for 3 months just for this motherfucker to throw me in jail. His superior officer walked in and was like, yo, is that him? He was like, yeah, he's sitting in there. And the dude is looking, he's looking at me like, he had to look like another black motherfucker trying to get on the plane with a gun. And he looks down and sees the folder. The folder's sitting on this little podium. Like, I'm in a little ass room. It's one cell and there's a cell next to me. And it's a glass. I can look at him, and they didn't close the door so I can hear every fucking thing that they're talking about. And he's sitting there, and Giuliani, like, the podium is directly in front of me. There's a desk a little bit to the right. Officer Giuliani is filling out the paperwork. And he opens up the first joint. He was like, it's registered in Jersey. He flips it over. He's like, yo, he has all this paperwork. What is he doing in there? His exact words was, he was like, yo, he had a gun. He was like, he has the right to have it. Like, all his paperwork is here. Jackass of Giuliani didn't even fill out the arrest report. He filled out the fact that I had to go sit in front of a judge first. So he sent the paperwork for me to go see the judge first, and then started filling out the paperwork of what I was arrested for. His superior officer walked over. He was like, yo, I apologize. I seen everything that you had, but you do have to see a judge. I'm going to make sure you see the judge today. You won't spend a night in jail. You're going to spend a couple of hours here, but you won't spend a night in jail. You can get whatever lawyer you need or whatever. If you got a public defender with, make sure you see one, but you will see the judge tonight. And I sat in jail, and looked at a whole bunch of people that most likely deserve to be in there. One dude actually fought like 6 cops. This nigga was on something. He was crazy. But I'm sitting there looking at it. Yo, this is crazy. Now, everywhere I walk, you know me, I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Talking to cops, they're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, ass going to jail. Got a fucking gun in the bag. I'm like, y'all have no clue what the fuck I went through to make sure I can travel with this shit. Y'all already called me a criminal. Straight called me a criminal. I walked in there, the judge looked at it, the dude was like, yeah, the other lawyer was like, yeah, you know, he had a gun in his bag or whatever the case. He was flying illegally. It was like, what are you talking about? All his paperwork is here. And he didn't even use it. He didn't go to the gun range. Everything that he did is right here. You can call everybody. We're going to release you on all rolling. Is there anything else you need to do? I was like, nah, I'm out. Grabbed my bag and walked the fuck out. And they kept my gun and will not give it back to me.
Civil forfeiture.
Straight like that.
Civil forfeiture, when the law can take possession of things, deeming that you may use it for criminal activities. It's called civil forfeiture. So basically, someone now probably has your gun who's a cop.
Could be out there busting, shooting, whatever the fuck the case may be. Yeah.
And that is just horrible.
And the first thing I did once I got back here was
unregister my gun.
That is not mine. You can call Clean.
Yeah.
Check that out. That's with them. Are you going back to get it? No.
No.
That ain't mine.
Yeah. Ain't mine no more.
Fingerprints on there. My fingerprints ain't been on there in years.
Nah.
Cool.
I'm good. You can have that.
Job behind it. I didn't get my promotion behind that because I was going home in September just to hang out. Now, just imagine you go home. I'm going to Singleton Barbecue.
Yeah.
That's what I was coming home for. Now, imagine you come back and your boss is like, you went to jail for a gun in the airport.
Yeah. Having to explain yourself with that.
I showed him all of the paperwork. He literally looked at me. He was like, yo, just go back to work. Fuck my whole promotions up and everything. Slowed everything that I was doing out here. And for the last 3 years, I've been in the same position because the high-ups, they could be, that they don't want that because of that stigma. And I did everything I was supposed to do. So I can talk about it. I don't care. When it happened, I didn't want to talk about it. But going through learning the process, USCCA, NRA, all this other extra stuff, I make sure I know exactly what I'm doing with it, when I should carry it, when I shouldn't. Because it's a right that you have.
Yeah.
It's a right. It's not a privilege, it's a right. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to bear arms. This is your natural born human right. You have the right to hold one. And the second is, you know it was up, what is it, 300%, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
Or 70% of the guns bought now because people are finding out the law. It's from black folk. Black folk, not legal. Legal. Because of COVID.
Yeah.
People, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. If I kicked in your door right now with a gun, you're armed with a phone,
I can throw it at you.
hopefully you got
with the flash on. It might hit you right here. You see stars a little bit.
Hopefully you can get to me and stole me one time and I'm disoriented or whatever the fuck the case may be, which is possible. They teach you that in class, which is very possible. Because if you decide to run at somebody not paying attention, it takes you less than a half a second to get to somebody. If they're within 10 feet, if you take 2 steps, you're already on them. But if they're looking at you, they're firing off, you're done. But you have the right to protect yourself no matter what. Don't let a cop tell you that you don't. Know your laws, know everything. If they want to search your car, know your laws. Just know it, because as you see, white, black, indifferent, green, whatever the case may be, cops have become a gang in certain areas. I'm not going to sit here and say that all cops are bad. That is just the dumbest thing. That's one of the dumbest blanket statements you could possibly make.
I hate people saying that.
Those that are drunk with the power of having a law behind them do the dumbest shit in the world, man. They do the dumbest things in the world. They will break the law just because of a personal feeling. And you have to be able to protect yourself. Not saying go out there and rage war against a fucking cop. That's just stupid. They're the biggest organized crew on the fucking planet is the police officer, whatever the case may be. Don't do that. Just make sure you know your laws. If you got your gun, make sure you know how to use it.
Yes.
Spend time at the range. Make sure you know what you do. And I mean, sit in the house and it may drive your family crazy. Pull it out, put it back in. Pull it out, put it back in. If you ever seen what's that? Dinner Thieves? Ever seen that movie, Dinner Thieves?
Yes, I did.
You seen that black dude when he was sitting at the joint? He ain't have nothing in his hand. He kept coming out, putting it back in his hand. Muscle memory. It's just like doing push-ups. It's just like doing anything. It's brushing your hair, running up you know exactly what your body's going to do if you're in that situation. So you can think and not fucking freeze up when something happens. I never want to use my gun against another human being. Never. Ever. I'd rather shoot steel or shoot paper. I do not want to shoot flesh. But if I have to,
you will do it.
We're going to take a small commercial break because I'm not going to repeat myself or nothing. I'm not going to say anything. But if you got to protect yourself, you got to protect yourself. And that's it. And some people know how to fight. Some people know how to use knives or whatever. Whatever you need to do to protect you, your family, your well-being, and your way of life. Do it. Period.
It's crazy because I said during this whole pandemic, I said, women got to get their guns. Especially women. Especially women of color. I'm not talking about just black. I'm talking about black, Latino, Asian. They need to be, because these dudes, these little pedophile dudes, these sex criminal dudes, they are not playing.
Not at all.
They're like, oh, word, cops is on low key. They don't want to be on top of COVID. Yeah. We gonna steal off from somebody. We gonna take from something. I'm like, bro, I think I had a video clip I posted a while ago of it was a lady that's Sade. Shout out to my homegirl, Sade, right there. Remember there was a woman shopping, right? And two dudes are walking out behind her, right? So one guy goes around the car while she's shopping, putting her groceries, is talking to the lady. Meanwhile, behind her, she don't see his partner sneaking in the back of the whip.
Wow.
In the back door, right? So when she's putting her shit away and he sneaks in the back, she goes in the front seat. You see the car stand still for a minute. And out of nowhere, bro, her man pulls up. His homeboy pulls up in the front seat, drive the fuck off. But the girl in the car.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, I rather my ladies that I know be armed and safe than to have these dudes, come up and do things. Because like my buddy who's a cop says that I have a hard time talking about it, but I want to talk about it. Is that your chance of survival drops significantly if you're transported from the last place you are seen.
Absolutely.
So They always say it's either, like they say, give me your wallet, comply. Don't resist. Drop it. And
everything in your wallet is replaceable. Every single thing in your wallet is replaceable. Drop it.
Just book it. Don't fight for it. Book it. Because she can go to the left real quick. As you can see with Pop Smoke, as you can see, a lot of these artists and people, regular people, shit can go to the fucking left real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't try to protect yourself, what's up, Pisces girl? If you don't try to protect yourself, you are gonna be done. Because I've seen it, and I've been seeing it, like even recently, right? I don't know if you saw the story in the paper, but it's actually a real story. They found 39 children locked up in a trailer.
It wasn't 39.
How much was it?
Total. They found a total of 39. This is
a total of 39?
Yeah, it was all in Atlanta. It was like 22, and then there was another one that was 10, and it was a bunch of kids, but it was a total.
So total.
It was a total of 39. One of them was pedophiles. It was family kidnapping. It was a bunch of shit or whatever the case, but it was a total of 39. I looked at the story. It's from some Atlantic newspaper. It was like, it wasn't 39 kids in a trailer. It was, I think it was 22 in a trailer or whatever the case, but they found a total of 39 kids, and they were all going through sex trafficking and shit like that. Yeah, I seen that story too. Yep.
Bro, these guys ain't playing around. These guys, they're picking up kids off the street.
And how do you think I feel when I got about 30 nieces?
You see what I'm talking about? And if one of them gets touched by somebody,
just imagine my brother called me and told me that. Just imagine.
Oh God, I don't want to know. Your brother's gonna go to jail. Your brother is gonna go to jail.
First of all, I'm gonna be in there before he get there.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Of course.
But like these dudes ain't playing fair, bro. They're not. Oh damn. Oh, we got 30 seconds. I'm gonna cut it off and come right back. Hold on, y'all. Because stay where you are. I'm gonna cut it and come right back because I only have like 15 seconds left on the timer. Hold on. I'm gonna bring it right back. Hold on.